King David, who had enemies, and they were trying to kill him, and he defeated them, and he was giving thanks to God, and he said, God is with me among my enemies, among my helpers, God was with me among my helpers, because there's a lot of people that helped me, and God was one of them. And I will see revenge on my enemies. So King David was saying, I had a lot of helpers, a lot of people helped me out, and God was one of them. And now I will see revenge on my enemies. So the Lubavitcher Rebbe asked the question that he had also problems, perhaps no less than King David. And there were Jews that hated him. He was put in jail. They tried to kill him. And he got out. He said, how can King David say a thing like that? I mean, there's only one helper, and that's God. God helps us, God cares about us, and he helps us in natural ways, it's true. But the one we have to really give thanks, and we have to thank the ones who help us, it's true. But now King David is saying a psalm, and he's giving praise. He should have said, God was the one that helped me. He doesn't have to thank every single person that helped him in Psalms. This is the Torah. God is my helper. God is the helper. Right? And on the dollar bill, it doesn't say in God and England and France and the United Nations and our allies we trust.
In God and his helpers.
Right? God and his helpers we trust. In God we trust. Right? Even though it's true, America certainly gave thanks to the countries that helped us in World War II and our allies. And a person has to give thanks to people who help you. You have to give thanks. Somebody does you a favor, you have to say thank you. But really, everything comes from God. Who created this person? Who is creating this person? God. Who gave this person the willpower to help you, the free choice to help you? God. So it's really giving thanks to God. So how can King David here in Psalms say that I had a lot of helpers, I'm giving thanks to all of them, and God is one of them? Doesn't fit King. Also, how can King David say, I want to see revenge on my enemies? Revenge is not a good thing. He should say, I hope all of my enemies do tshuva, especially because some of his enemies were really very holy people. They were real Torah people. Doag, Achitofel. You don't have people like that in this day. Doag, Achitofel, they knew the whole entire Torah. They were geniuses. They knew the secrets of the Torah. And nevertheless, they opposed David. Okay, so King David could say, okay, they got politically involved, but why should he say, I'll see revenge on them? What does it mean? So who are these helpers? And why did David want to see revenge? So the Rebbe said, God put the world in our hands. Adam ki yakriv. A person, when he wants to get close to Hashem, it all comes from us. God put the whole world in our hands, and we have to improve the world. How do you improve the world? You would never believe it. You would never believe it. There's so many wonderful systems about how to improve the world. Right? There was communism, there was socialism, there was Freud and all these people coming and saying you don't have to get rid of the neuroses and the psychoses. And then there's what's it called? Anarchy and atheism and all these religion, all sorts of religions to fix the world up. Right? How are we going to fix up the world? Everyone is going to be a religion just like me. Everyone is going to think like me. Everyone's going to get rid of their neuroses. We're going to get rid of money. That's the problem. We're going to get rid of capitalism. We're going to get rid of communism. That's the problem. We're going to get that. Everyone has these wonderful ideas, and they seem to sort of logical. All the ideas are logical. They have millions of people that believe in them to fix up the world. Comes along Judaism and says, listen, we've got an idea also. How do you fix up the world? By learning Torah, doing the commandments, by prayer, and by devotion to the creator of the universe. Not thinking about yourself. A person can learn Torah, he can do the commandments, he can pray, he does everything for himself. He wants to be great, he wants to be big, he wants to be important, he wants to go to heaven. He says, that's not the way you fix up the world. Maybe you fix yourself up, maybe, according to your own standards. But fixing up the world means being like Abraham. Total self-sacrifice for the creator of the universe. That's how you fix up the world. Does that make sense? Not really so much. Not really so much.
It makes as much sense as many of those other ideas.
No, the other ideas are very sensible. You got billions of people, right? The communism, just get rid of all the money. Everyone is going to be equal. the government will control, right? So it sort of makes sense, there's inequality and the simple people have to raise up. And
Well, they say everything is equal. It's just from the point of view. There's this, everything is equal.
Good. Also the religions, right? If
Why isn't the Torah
If everyone in the world would believe like me, then there would be peace, then there would be this, right there. Anyway, at least the ideas are, it's sort of like fitting into the whole system of the world. You have a leader, you have people, so the leader they're just leaders are wrong. We have to, different system. Says the Rebbe, Torah mitzvahs, that's not the way it goes. The only way really to fix up the whole world is if everybody in the world does what God says to do in the Torah. What does God say to do in the Torah? Be honest, be just, don't be lazy, honor other people, love your fellow man, right? Believe only in the Creator, don't believe in any people, don't believe in any. And ideally, that's going to happen with Mashiach, right? How is this logical? The logical part about it is that God, according to Judaism, God is creating everybody. So as soon as everybody connects to the Creator, then suddenly everybody feels empowered and they feel responsible to the Creator. And especially because what does the Creator want? He wants this world to be a good place. All the religions say, forget about this world, you're going to go to heaven. Right? Ultimate selfishness. And Judaism says, forget about yourself and forget about heaven. Right? This world there is such a thing as yourself, no doubt about it. There's such a thing as heaven, but your job is to bring heaven, you yourself to bring heaven into the world. How? By not thinking about yourself.
Get into the moment.
But
Get into the moment.
Listen, this thing about getting into the moment is
The
true.
moment meaning now in this world.
Right.
Not
But
the next world.
I know there's a lot of these things about living now and being what is it called? How do they call it?
Getting real.
No, there's a mindfulness. Mindfulness. There's a whole system now called mindfulness. Just be aware of what's going on, aware of this is good. This is a good thing, being aware. But there's also a big emphasis on forgetting the past and not thinking about the future. The past is to us the good things in the past empower us. They teach us. They're an example for us. They're a foundation for us. The good things in the past. Also the same thing about the future. The future is hope. The future is our job to fix up the world in the future. We have to not forget about the future and not forget about the past, to incorporate them into what's going on right now. And that's the idea of Torah mitzvahs. God creates everything. He creates time also. So therefore, let's say, take an example, the previous Rebbe. He was put into prison. We learned he was put into a room that he had mud or whatever it was up to his knees. He couldn't move. There were rats and all sorts of weird, spiders and things like that on the walls. They put him there for 2 days. Now that's a very traumatic experience. And now any normal person would say, this is the reward I get for Judaism. Here I'm such a religious person, I've done all these good things. What in the world do I deserve to get this? It's very traumatic, right? Some people, you get locked in a room or something like that for 3 minutes. They have to go to a psychiatrist. They run over a cat or something, right? Here, with being in the room, having a spider in your bed, big tarantula, right? That's the thing that shakes a person up. Here he had running up and down the walls, and he couldn't sleep. It was 2 days ago. It's a very traumatic thing, and there was death all around him. People were getting killed, one after another. He heard people getting. That's very traumatic. But the Rebbe said, to give up 1 second of the experience that I had, I wouldn't for all the money in the world. To repeat it, give me all the money in the world, I wouldn't go. But to give it up, no. So in other words, things in the past, bad experiences can be, a springboard for a person to realize, listen, I am not going to be influenced by the world negatively. But in order to do that, I have to find something really good and alive inside of myself. Who am I? Right? Who am I? What am I really? Right? That's the problem with communism. The problem is the other guy. Revolt, revolution, rising up of the proletariat or whatever against the. Right? They're the problem. Black Lives Matter. They're the problem. Right? They're the problem. Right? The problem is the other guy. Get rid of him. Everything's going to be okay. And that's a big lie. That's a big, terrible, terrible, awesome lie. Because the problem is always us. How we look at things. Even Jews that were in the concentration camps in Auschwitz. There's times you have to fight against the enemy. There's no doubt about it, though. Sometimes you have to fight against the enemy. Sometimes you have to make a war. Sometimes you have to do it. But that's not what you should look forward to. Right? The main thing is your attitude that you take. So let's go. Bi'urinyan. Hine mitzvahs Hashem nikros b'kama shemos. The commandments of God are called several names. Kamo edus chukim mishpatim. Edus chukim mishpatim. Would you like a pen or a pencil, Yonah? Ukamo Shabbos, like for instance Shabbos. Shabbos is what we call one of the edus. It's a testimony. Shabbat is an oath, is a sign to the Jewish people that God created the world in 6 days, and on the seventh day rested. And there's a creator. And the creator creates everything. Sukkot. Sukkot is Laman Yedu Doratechem. You have to remember that God put us into Sukkot. He surrounded us with clouds of glory when He took them out of Egypt. That's Edut. Mishpatim. Mishpatim, these are logical laws. Just 1 second.